everybody. My name is Mohammed, and I am here to discuss a client that I'm currently working with and my successes with the client, and also challenges that I've been facing along with my supervisor. And then hopefully we could possibly brainstorm some strategies that I may have tried or um, have not thought of yet. So, my client, his name or his alias is Matthew. He's 7 years old. And Matthew lives with his adopted family and his biological brother since birth. He does occasionally visit his parents on scheduled visits as scheduled by the court. And um, beyond that, there's not much that I know, but mom has identified certain um, concerns around that topic as well. Um, he does not have an official diagnosis, although mom has been contemplating getting a psychological assessment in. Um, she's expressed some concerns for Matthew, which is what brings her to us. Um, she feels like he has some anxiety around sudden changes in routine, uh, abrupt abrupt changes in routine, and also whenever he has to transition, whether it be from one location to another or an activity to another activity. um she finds that the problem behavior in these circumstances are escalated when the person giving him these demands are not a trusted adult. In this case, it tends to be the teachers and the principal of his private school. And in terms of assessment, we have completed the FAST and with the parent, and we've also uh, provided the educators and the parent with ABC data sheet, and we briefly described how to fill it out. Um, ABC data was also completed through observation of the ABA therapist from the ABA therapist, and also informal interviews with the educators and other stakeholders involved. Um, Mom's goal is centered around what she's concerned about, which is his anxiety. And she also believes that there's a mental health component because of past traumatic experiences regarding his birth family. Um, her her goals are for him to be able to identify what emotional state he's in and coping strategies that he could use to help regulate himself. Um, Apart from that, he has already been coming to the organization on a weekly basis for a 2 hour weekly social skills group. And the focus of the social skills group is emotional regulation, um, how to build and maintain social relationships, and dealing with rejection in the social context. Um, the Parents have suggested that the ABA therapists come inside the school in the classroom setting to provide uh, Matthew with the tools needed to succeed in school. And the principal has accepted this request. So we have decided to go into school, into the classroom to help him. As for the principal's request, we do, during our sessions, take him out of the classroom to work with him for a bit on a one-to-one basis. And that's where we've designed a couple of programs uh, pertaining to functional communication training in regards to requesting for help and requesting for a break. Other programs are following a curriculum from the zones of emotional regulation to help him identify what zone he's currently in, and to give him coping strategies that he can use to um, help him feel more regulated. The challenge that we face is that when we were working with him on a one-to-one basis, he hit mastery really quickly. We found him to be able to functionally request for breaks, to functionally request for help. However, when the steps were mastered on a one-to-one basis, the next step was naturally generalization, and we wanted to bring him back in the classroom. We had updated the educators of the classroom with our planning, our programming, and how he's coming along. And we had mentioned that because this is a fairly new skill, we'd like his appropriate requests, such as asking for help and asking for a break, to be honored so that he can build a contingency between appropriate requesting and support or break. This was honored by the teachers in the first couple of days, and after that, it wasn't. Under the guidance of, or the suggestion or the advisement of the principal, the teachers had refused to always honor his request for a break and uh, help for a couple of reasons. Because the principal claimed that this was not their way. It was not aligned with their school's values and principles. And they also felt that honoring his request for escape, as they termed it, every time he appropriately just asked for it, was unfair to other children, and they were afraid that other children would catch on to what was happening. And they also felt that this was not how discipline and character is made. They use that word quite a bit, character development, and they felt like being able to stick it through is a great way to build character. And they pretty much had a one size fits all approach. We tried to create some buy-in. We tried to build rapport with the educators and staff. We provided research to support that reinforcement's the way to go and not punishment, and that we're trying to replace those escape maintain behaviors with appropriate behaviors that can be honored and are socially appropriate. We said that requesting for help, requesting for break was socially appropriate in comparison to what he was doing, which was covering his ears and hiding under the table. But we've been getting some pushback. So basically, I wanted to ask you guys what you think. Should we spend a considerable more amount of time on rapport building with the educators and to develop a buy-in? I feel a little guilty about this because parents are paying out of pocket for this, and they had asked us to come in to support the child, but we find that we are spending more of our time with the educators to convince them about the basic principles of ABA. Um, I am tempted to propose that the child find another school where he is allowed to grow through nurturing, love, and learning. Um, However, I know this is easier said than done, and a parent can't just let their kid discontinue in a day and find another school. It's far more complicated than that. Um, but these are my current barriers to the client that I'm working with. The kid is showing great potential. He's actually trying. He's actually trying to use functional communication, but it's not being reinforced or honored. And then he just gets even more confused. He's like, I'm doing everything my ABA therapists are asking me, but it's not being validated. And that's really frustrating. And I don't even know who needs ABA more at this point, if it's the teachers and the principal who are more driven by ego than a child who actually needs help and is trying, and he's actually trying. So yeah, this was my client, and these are the challenges I'm facing, and I hope you guys have some good ideas or any ideas really, and we can brainstorm something and hopefully we can figure something out. Thanks for listening, and have a good one.